Welcome back, Renegades. Today we have the deck profile for Ethan's Typhlosion with a bonus gameplay. All matches will be timestamped in the description as well as the deck profile. If you're enjoying the content, please consider subscribing. It helps the channel tremendously. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, so here we have the deck profile for Ethan's Typhlosion. We're running one copy of Badoo. It's our free retreat, free attack. Deals 10 damage with Itchy Pollen. During your opponent's next turn, they can't play any item cards from their hand, essentially just item locking them down. Main thing is trying to slow them down a little bit as far as the free retreat. Running one copy of Shaman from Destined Rivals has the ability Flower Curtain. Prevent all damage done to your bench Pokemon that have any rule box by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. Pokemon EX, B, etc. have rule boxes. For two colorless, we have Smash Kick for 30 damage, but this mostly just sits on the bench as a way to kind of protect our Cyndaquils as we're evolving up into Typhlosion. If it does come up, it does have a single retreat cost, 80 HP. Running 4 copies of Ethan's Cyndaquil here, 70 HP fire. For 1 fire with Ember, 30 damage, but we do have to discard an energy from this Pokemon. But it's just one single energy, which is fine. And it does have a single retreat. 4 copies of Ethan's Quill Lava, 100 HP. 1 fire energy, has combustion for 40 damage. Single retreat. This right here helps us get our Ethan's Adventure support card. Once during your turn, you may search your deck for an Ethan's Adventure card. Reveal it, put it in your hand, shuffle your deck. This helps get the Ethan's Adventures to hand so that we can use them or trash them to power up our Typhlosion. We're running 4 copies of our main attacker here, Ethan's Typhlosion, 170 HP with 1 fire. Has Buddy Blast for 40 plus damage. This attack does 60 more damage for each Ethan's Adventure card in our discard pile. Our goal is to get Ethan's Adventure into the discard pile as fast as possible to get this to start one-shotting a lot of Pokemon. For 2 fire and a colorless, it has Steam Artillery for 160. We don't ever use this attack. It does have a double retreat cost, but we have a lot of ways to recur in this deck. So 1 copy of Victini, 70 HP, ability, Victory Cheer. Attacks used by your evolution fire Pokemon do 10 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon before applying weakness and resistance. We don't really use this as an attacker, but it is an option for a fire, and a colorless has Flare for 30 damage. This is just on the bench to kind of pump up our Typhlosion hitting a little harder. 1 copy. I do like this card, so we're running 1 copy of Iron Bundle. It's 100 HP, water type. We don't attack with this at all. Has the ability Hyper Blower. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is on your bench, you may switch out one of your opponent's active Pokemon to the bench. So your opponent chooses the new active Pokemon, though. So that's like kind of a downside. If you do, discard this Pokemon and all attached cards. This is, I feel like, one of the weakest cards in the deck. It is only a one-of, so we might end up dropping this. It does have a single retreat if they do push it up. 2 copies of Dunsparce, 70 HP basic. For 1 colorless energy, we have Find a Friend, so we can search our deck for a Pokemon, put it in our hand, shuffle our deck. We don't really use this as an attacker because it costs 3 energy to do 50 damage, which is really bad. Has a single retreat, but we're running 2 copies of that and then 2 copies of the Dunsparce, 140 HP. Has the ability Runaway Draw. Once during your turn, you may draw 3 cards. If you drew any cards this way, shuffle this Pokemon and all attached cards into your deck. What's nice about this is it allows us to... It shuffles it back in, so if we have to attach a tool to it, we still get it back when it shuffles back. That's what we're using this for, is just additional draw. Running 4 copies of Buddy Buddy Popin. Search your deck for 2 basic Pokemon with 70 HP or less. Put them in your bench, shuffle your deck. This is an item card, so we can use as many of these turn as we want. Helps us get our Cyndaquils back. So the 70 HP is our limit. It's our restriction to what we can grab, but we can grab most of the stuff we want. 2 copies of Counter Catcher. So we can only play this card if we have more prize cards remaining than our opponent. Essentially, if we're behind. So we're going to switch out one of our opponent's bench Pokemon to the active so we can bring up which one we want and try to KO it for that prize card. 2 copies. 4 copies of Night Stretcher. This is recursion for the deck. We get to put a Pokemon or a basic energy from our discard pile into our hand. Great card. This helps us get any piece of the Typhlosion line we're missing. Our energy, because we do have a low energy count because our attack only really requires 1 energy. We are running 1 copy of Rare Candy, so this allows us to go from Cyndaquil into Typhlosion without having to worry about our Quill Lava. Running a single copy of Rare Candy, this allows us to go from Cyndaquil to Typhlosion without the need for Quill Lava, just a one-of, because Quill Lava is good, so we do like to evolve into Quill Lava to get our Bounded by Journey. 1 copy of Redeemable Ticket. This card normally ain't good, but in this deck, it's really good. So we count our prize cards, we shuffle them, and put them onto the bottom of our deck. Then we put that many prize cards from the top of our deck into our prize area. So if we're looking through our deck, which we do a lot, and we notice that we're missing a Ethan's Adventure, and we don't have all 4 in our deck, this allows us to get them out of life and put them back into the deck for us to be able to maximize our Typhlosion attack. Running 4 copies of Ultra Ball, we just discard 2 cards and we go get a basic or any Pokemon we want, put in our hand. Just this helps us get the missing piece we need. 3 copies of Artisan. It's our stage we're running. Once during each player's turn, we go and search for a basic Pokemon that doesn't have a rule box and put it on their bench. That just helps us get some of our bench cards we need down. I do see other lists running Gravity Mountain, I believe, and that one's pretty cool. So, but this is the list that I was running with Artisan. 3 copies of Arbin, Supporter. Search our deck for an item card and a Pokemon tool. Reveal them, put them in our hand. Then we can shuffle our deck. This gets us the pieces that we need. Stable for most decks. We are running 1 copy of Boss's Orders. This just allows us to pull up one of their bench Pokemon to the active spot, just allowing us to take it out. 4 copies of Ethan's Adventure. We can search our deck for up to 3 in any combination of Ethan's Pokemon and basic Fire Energy. Reveal them, put them in our hand, then we shuffle our deck. This card is important to help the Typhlosions hit harder, and also since we do run a low energy count, it helps us get energy. It helps us get any missing pieces that we're missing out of the Typhlosion. Just an all-around great card for the deck. 4 copies of Professor's Research. Sometimes our hands are not good. When the opponent's using Ionas against us and we're ahead in life, we only get a couple cards back. Professor's Research will help us refill our hand. It's a pretty staple card. For tools, we're using 2 copies of Defiance Ban. So if we have more prize cards remaining than our opponent, essentially if we're behind in prize cards, we get to do an additional 30 more damage. Not a bad tool. We're running 1 copy of Maximum Belt as an additional tool. Attacks used by this Pokemon this card is attached to do 50 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon EX. With Charizards, Gardevoirs, Dragapults running around, this just helps us kind of compete into them a little bit easier. It is our A spec for the deck, so we can only run 1 of. 1 copy of Rescue Board. This just gets our retreat cost of the Pokemon this card is attached to, 1 colorless less. If the Pokemon's remaining HP is 30 or less, it has no retreat cost. We put this on our Shaman, essentially, just so if they pull it up, we can pull it back as a pivot point when we need to. And to round the deck off, we are running 5 copies of basic Fire Energy. Like I said, we do have a low energy count here, but we only need 1 energy for Typhlosion to hit, and that is our main attacker for the deck. And we have Night Stretchers and all kinds of ways to recur and get energy with Ethan's Adventure. So 5 energy does not seem to be an issue in this deck. All right, let's get into some gameplay. All right, we're going to start with Cyndaquil. Opponent's going to be going first. So we have the Buddy Buddy, we have Night Stretcher, Artisan, Countercatcher, Arbin, and Research. All right, so a Dragapult deck of some sort. A lot of variants to this deck. So they're going to play down their Buddy Buddy. They got Duskull and Badoost. This is the Duskull variant. All right, so we're going to play down Buddy Buddy. Now let's grab another Cyndaquil and a Badoo. Play down Artisan. Use the Stadium. Let's grab Shaman. We're going to use Arbin. Actually, we're going to check all real quick just to see how many of our Ethan's Adventures we have. We have 3 here. So eventually we're going to have to use the redeemable ticket to get it back. So we get an item card. Let's grab Rescue Board and grab another Buddy. Play Buddy. Go get Cyndaquil and Victini. Gonna put Rescue Board on our Shaman and it's pass turn. So we weren't able to find an energy. Opponent's going to use the Stadium here. They got Monkey Dory and Iona. Okay, that'll actually probably help us. There's a Quilava and 2 Quilavas, an Ethan's Adventure, and a basic Fire Energy. That's pretty good. They're going to play Buddy again. Alright, so they just got some more Dreepies here. But we don't need the Buddy. We're going to go Quilava onto our active Pokemon. Quilava on the bottom. One of the bench Pokemon. Just going to put an energy on our Quilava. Ethan's Adventure. Let's grab another Quilava, a Typhlosion, and another energy. Play Quilava. Use Bounded by Journey. Grab another Ethan. Do Bounded by Journey again. Grab another Ethan. Do another one. We don't have any more in the deck, but we'll still. What do we have? That's good. 3 Ultra Ball. Still have 3. We have the redeemable ticket and the 3 Night Stretchers, which is good. So we're going to use an Ultra Ball here. We're gonna go Ethan's Adventure and Buddy Puppin. Let's grab another Typhlosion. And then we'll just smack for 50 damage to the Droopy. Alright, so they're gonna evolve into the Dracloak, using the ability to kind of manipulate what they're drawing, evolving into another Dracloak, doing the same thing. Just digging, getting what they can get. It's pretty good, it's what they do. Monkey Dory, moving some damage over to our Badoo. Unfortunately, but it is what it is. So they're going to use Arvin here. Alright, Earthen Vessel. Alright, so Dracloak can attack for 70, which is pretty good. Putting our Quilava down to 30 HP. They have like no more energy to really work with. So we're going to use Typhlosion. Typhlosion. Energy on Typhlosion. Artisan, let's see what we got. Let's get a Dunsparce. I think we're gonna use research here. This will give us like some more options. We got Ultra Ball. We have Counter Catcher now, which is good. Because now we can start, once we get our redeemable ticket, we'll be able... We're going to hit this for 230. But once we get the redeemable ticket, we're going to be able to get our prize pool shuffled back into our deck to get that last Ethan's Adventure. Just another energy, which is fine. Alright, Dracloak coming up. Assuming they have the Dragapult. So they played down the Fez, and now they're using Dracloak's ability. What is this one? Dusclop. So they can put once per turn, you may put 5 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. And if they do, they bench us out. So that's pretty good. Here comes Dragapult. So they're going to be able to KO our Typhlosion, knock it out. And then they get to do 6 damage counters. I don't think the, maybe the Shaman protects it. We'll see. Be in trouble here. That's a fresh Dragapult. Nope, they can do 60 to the Dunsparce. So they got the Typhlosion out of the way. So we're going to bring up our other Typhlosion. So we have that ready to go. There's redeemable ticket. We're going to use Bounded by Journey. Ethan's Adventure. We are going to use Night Stretcher. Let's get back our Cyndaquil. We're going to play the Cyndaquil. Energy on our Quilava. Ultra Ball, Artisan, Dunsparce. Grabbing the Dunsparce here. That way they can't get a prize card from KOing this, for knocking it out. So then we're going to use our Runaway Draw ability here. Alright, that's pretty good. The Defiance Band's good. We're going to use Artisan now. We're going to grab another Cyndaquil. So 2 Cyndaquils down. Ethan's Adventure, we're going to use that one. Go Typhlosion, Energy. Let's grab our Energy and our Typhlosion, which is great for us. We'll go into our Typhlosion, having a backup one ready to go. So we are smacking for 320, which is perfect, just enough to take out the Dragapult EX. Getting our 2 prize cards here. Arvin and Boss's Orders. Alright, the Monkey Dory or the Dusclop is the next target for us. So the Defiance Band doesn't do anything right now because we are ahead on prize cards, but it was enough damage to get us ahead with that. So then bringing up Badoo is alright. So they use the Fez to draw some cards. So Counter Catcher shut off temporarily. Nice Stretcher, grabbing back. Looks like the Dragapult. That goes pretty quick. Assuming Rare Candy, Droopy, Rare Candy, Dragapult. That's what it looks like to me. Yep, there's the Rare Candy. There's a Dragapult. That's fine. We do have Typhlosion. Unfortunately... No, actually, I think we'll be okay. Because we have Arvin, which should get our max belt. As long as we didn't prize the max belt. Counter Catcher? What are they bringing up? If they don't bring up Typhlosion, I mean, that's fine too. Victini. Yeah, it makes sense. They want to get rid of that power boost. So, do they have the other energy? Because we have the energy to back it up. We can retreat it and... Or if we get Rescue Board, technically. If we Arvin... But I'd rather get the... Okay. So they're doing Dusknoir. So they can do 113 damage counters on something. Pretty much a knockout. Alright, so they're going to knock out something here. Getting a prize card. But we also get a prize card. So we may just Boss's Order the Fez up. The Rescue Board was already on Shaman. Alright, so we get a prize card and they get a prize card. We have Boss's Order. So we should be able to Boss Order up the Fez. and take it out with our Typhlosion. So they're going to use Artisan here. Another Badoo. I think it's basically their last basic in the deck. I don't think he's doing enough damage to take it out. So the Victini, we're going to retreat. We're going to bring up our Typhlosion here because the Defiance Band doesn't do anything. Quilava. Let's Ultra Ball this and a Counter Catcher away. See if we can find. Alright, so we must have one of our Typhlosions. So here we're going to use Boss's Orders. We're just going to bring up Fez. We'll throw Defiance Band on it, but it's not going to do anything. It's going to smack for 290, which is enough to take it out. And that will give us the last 2 prize cards for the game. There's the Typhlosion. Good game. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.